Hello,
We
hello,
are live.
hello. We are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Horror Metal Cast. Episode 12, is it?
12.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. I don't keep count of anything, so I don't know. I can't even remember what day it is half the time. But anyway, welcome back. It is Stevie and Joe talking shit again on another glorious Monday evening.
Yes.
How are you doing tonight, Joe?
I am doing just ducky. Stevie, I'm doing great. How are you doing tonight? Are
Fabulous.
you
I had
all
a
right?
wonderful day. I bought
Yeah.
fancy new sweatpants that I'm obsessed with because they have glitter on them. So awesome. Glitter makes everything better. So tonight we had originally intended on talking about more music stuff tonight.
Yeah.
Uh, but we might, if we have time, we might get to that. However, so I woke up this morning and one of the things that came across my news feed was the outrage and just the overall negative reaction to the trailer that recently came out for the new Ted Bundy, Zac Efron film. Well, it doesn't star Ted Bundy, obviously, but it's based on Ted Bundy, starring Zac Efron, called "Extremely Vile." Is it? Yeah, extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile. Sorry, it's a strange title, so whatever. I got it wrong.
Right.
But so the trailer drops, and people freak out. People are losing their shit. They're angry because the trailer has like not so much like upbeat, but I guess happier sounding music. They're portraying Ted Bundy as he was a very charismatic man who was good looking. Not my type, but most
Right.
people, especially back in the 70s, I guess that was the thing. However, people are freaking out saying that the trailer for the upcoming film romanticizes the serial killer Ted Bundy.
Right.
I
I-
I have to. It just kind of irritated me so much that I was like, Joe, we have to talk about Ted Bundy, especially because Netflix also just launched a documentary. I believe it's called Confessions of a Killer. If I'm not, yeah, Conversations with a Killer. I'm just not with it tonight. So, Conversations with a Killer, that just came out on Netflix recently. I have yet to watch it because I was busy watching The Punisher. And he's kind of like becoming more relevant in the news lately. So, with that, I was like, we need to talk about this because it will also segue into our segment later in the show regarding social media, the internet, and just like the voice of the people or whatever. But my opinion is that too many people seem to be getting up in arms about fiction. Although Ted Bundy's life and travesties are far from fiction, people are getting up in arms about fiction in general, glorifying or romanticizing things.
yeah.
When if you take a look at reality, reality is harsh and brutal and disgusting as it is. So what's wrong with people enjoying fiction based on horror, based on violence, action, or serial killers? You know what I mean?
Right.
Ted Bundy, as I said earlier, was charismatic, charming. He was a good looking, successful man who was also sick in the head. He was a twisted individual. He was disgusting. So, that being said, back in the 70s, he was already romanticized. This trailer for this upcoming film is doing nothing different than what happened decades ago.
Right.
I mean, do you agree?
I totally agree. And I mean, here's the thing that I don't understand. And maybe you'll get with this. Maybe some other people can get behind this too. Hopefully, people are going to come up into the chat with us. We have one viewer so far. Hopefully, your thoughts are going to be heard in the chat room. We'd love to hear from you. All right. So here's my take on that. I don't know when society as a whole became so sensitive in a world that has so many desensitizing incidents happening left and right, atrocities that are committed by these same people, who are getting upset and sensitive over a TV show.
Yeah.
While they're going out and beating people over the head because of who they voted for. We're not a political front here. I'm not going to make any bones about that. I'm not going to drag politics in this, but this is all tied in. This is all tied together. Society as a whole, in my opinion, has just gotten so ridiculously sensitive over the most ridiculous things that it makes absolutely no sense to me. It's almost impossible for me to get my head around it because it's just so stupidly ridiculous. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. And I'm not going to, hide the way I feel about it because it's true to me.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
So you heard me bring up, obviously I haven't watched the Ted Bundy documentary because I was watching The Punisher, which was amazing. I love him. But anyway, so that brings up another good point because you said TV show. And that was also on my list of things that have been pissing people off. So I've read on the internet, I'm not going to name names or anything, but people getting upset about The Punisher television show on Netflix because it glorifies gun violence, or they feel it glorifies gun violence, and they feel like it romanticizes violent men with mental health disorders.
Unbelievable. I mean,
and that's what I don't really understand, because I don't get that when I watch the show. I don't watch it and say to myself, wow, I sure wish I had a boyfriend like Billy Russo. I don't say to myself, I sure wish that I had a man that it was completely unhinged and kills women and children and just says fuck it and goes on fucking killing sprees. I don't know the type of damaged person that does desire a man like that. So I don't agree that it romanticizes men like that. Yes, are the characters good looking? Of course they are. They're Hollywood actors.
What do you think? They're going to be ugly? Come on, man.
Exactly. So are they supposed to be?
Can we even say the word ugly? I mean, somebody's going to get offended if we say the word ugly.
Well, and that's kind of funny too, because a lot of people were pissed off that Jigsaw, who is Billy Russo on the show, and Jigsaw in the comics is obviously hideous and disgusting. Jigsaw in one of the Punisher films, I can't remember which one, was hideous. So people are like angry that he wasn't uglier than what he was. And the only thing I can really say to that is, what does it matter? It didn't take away from the show for me. I mean, I'm just one person, but I didn't feel that it took away from anything. Also, whoops, if you haven't seen Punisher season 2, spoiler, I guess, that he's not as ugly as you would have liked to believe he was. But whatever. But like, that's the thing too, is that like we have, we were having a conversation, some coworkers and I, the other day at work, about how horror is not necessarily less scary now. It's just that, and you used a good word, desensitized. It's that we are, for the most part, most of us are desensitized to fictional scary things because of how horrendous real life is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally agreed. I totally agree with that. I couldn't agree more. I don't know.
Like when I was a little girl, and my sister, who, if you don't know, is Joe's wife, Chrissy used to get mad that my parents would let me watch horror movies when I was like 6 or 7, because I'd be like, oh, Chrissy. And I'd like sit in her room and be like, I can't sleep alone. And I was like this scared little girl, like what?
Now I understand why. I understand why she wants quiet when we watch a movie now. Now I know.
And I'd be like, Chrissy, help me. But like I remember being a little girl and being fucking terrified of Michael Myers. And now I'm just like, meh.
Yeah, it's nothing. I mean,
the nightclub shooting was scarier. That bar shooting was scarier. The guy that shot up the bank down the street was scarier.
Right.
And that's what it is that real life is so fucking terrifying every day
And these people are worried. I mean, you have nothing more to worry about than a fucking TV show, really?
Exactly.
I mean, seriously?
Exactly. But I guess, looking at both sides of the fence, maybe it is because life is so horrible that people don't want to see it depicted as such in a show or a film. But here's the solution to that.
Don't watch it.
Thank you. You took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry, Joseph. Stevie. It's coming out. It's just blurting out of me now.
No, you're good. It's true though. Don't watch it. Don't read it. Don't watch it. Don't listen to it if it upsets you.
If you're a person, and I'm going to use, you know what? I'm going to use one of the biggest butthurt shockers the word, oh my God, gun. Okay, I'm going to say gun. I'm going to say the word gun. All right. If you're afraid of guns, you don't like guns, you think they promote violence, and you think that they're the worst thing ever, and nobody should ever touch a gun. Do you pick one up?
No.
Right. I don't think I need to finish. I mean, but I'm gonna, because that's what I do. I finish. So I'm gonna finish that statement. I'm gonna tell you right, because
You're a closer. You're a closer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on a soapbox now. I'm up in the air now. Now I can finish. Look, honestly, if you don't use guns, you don't pick a gun up. If you don't like a TV show, you don't watch it. If you don't like a band, you don't listen to it.
Exactly.
Right? Because if you were in that band, or you were on that TV show, or you had to listen to the shit that comes out of everybody's crazy mouths about this stuff, you'd be up to here with it, because it's nuts.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And and that kind of I don't know if you saw the trailer for Lords of Chaos.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yes.
I did see it.
So that is based on, were the 80s or 90s?
I think it's 80s.
The black metal band Mayhem.
The late 80s, early 90s. It started in the 80s, and that is based on a true story.
Yes.
And these guys really did these things, and I mean, it was heinous shit, man. And
and that fits right into what we're talking about too. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, check out the trailer for Lords of Chaos. I'm really looking forward to this film. But it's based on this band Mayhem, as Joe said, from the late 80s, early 90s, that did, as you said, heinous shit.
Really.
People are, again, pissed off about this movie coming out because they're saying that it glorifies the terrible atrocities that were committed, and that it gives metal a bad name.
I was just going to say, this is twofold now, because not only do they have something to voice about, being horrible and terrible, and it was. Don't get me wrong. I don't condone burning churches or killing people. Okay, I'm not. I don't. I think it's a little. You got to be nuts in order to do something.
Oh, absolutely.
All of these things, you got to be out of your fucking mind. All right, and I curse here, and I'm going to. We're big people. This is our show. We're allowed to. You got to be out of your fucking mind to do things like that. Okay, that's first. Second, this is twofold now, because you're getting into an area that's gonna. All right, and I'm gonna make the analogy. All right, and it's gonna be short and sweet.
Okay.
Is everybody with the first name Ted a serial killer?
No.
Right. But now, because mass media is fucking crazy these days and everybody blows shit out of proportion, anybody who even utters the fact that they're in a death metal band will now get stamped with church burner, murderer, skull taker,
Satan worshiper,
nut. It was bad enough already that a lot of the metal gets a bad rap, still to this day. And believe me, look, let me tell you a story. I've been around since the days of the PMRC, and one of the shows, this will be for another episode, one of the shows that I was going to play was censored back in the 80s by the PMRC, okay? So let me tell you something. Let me tell you, youngin', something. What I want to say is that people need to vilify things today, and you are giving them, it's like arming them with explosives, okay? As far as the Punisher and Ted Bundy go, Ted Bundy was a real character, right? He was a real person, not a character. The guy plays his character. He's an actor, like you said. The The Punisher has been around for years. It was never a problem. Been around just as long as Ted Bundy and longer. Not a problem, not an issue. All of a sudden now, issue. Where did we cross the line? When did we cross that line? When did we move into this area where nothing is sacred anymore? Anything, everything is wrong.
Well, and that's the thing too. Okay, Ted Bundy based on a real person, Lords of Chaos based on real incidents, based on a real band.
Right.
The Punisher based on a comic book. Another,
right.
Not recent event, but spoiler alert! If you don't, in case you've been living under a fucking rock and you don't know anything about The Walking Dead. But when Glenn died in the comic book, I can tell you the exact moment. I was on a plane returning home to PCB from New Jersey,
right,
several years ago, and I was reading the comic or issue where Glenn died on the plane, and I actually said out loud, "Holy shit!" And like people looked at me like, "What the fuck?" Because that was my reaction, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" And I wanted to tell somebody so bad. I wanted to be like, "They just fucking killed Glenn. They just fucking killed Glenn." And I was like, the reaction that comic book gave me was like, it caused me to like blurt cuss words out on an airplane, okay, and make people go, "What's wrong with this bitch?" But so I was and with that being said, if I say, "Oh my God, I can't wait for them to bash Glenn's head in with a baseball bat on the TV show," does that make me a sick person? Does that make me a horrible person? It's not that I want to see someone's head get bashed in with a fucking baseball bat. It's just because I want that feeling that I had on that airplane when I read that up, when I read that issue.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I do.
So that's the thing. People, first of all, they handled it horribly. The showrunners were awful. That they handled it on a cliffhanger. They waited until the following season to let you know who died. That was so shitty and stupid, and fuck you for doing it. But anyway, The Walking Dead's gone way downhill. But that's the thing, is that I wanted that feeling when I read that issue again with the show. And it was just because I was such a fan. I was such a fan. It's not because I'm weird or sick and twisted, because you're disgusting. You want to see this poor man get his head bashed in. First off, it's fiction. First of all, it's fiction.
Yep.
Second of all, that's not why I want to watch it. So other people that want to see certain scenes in The Punisher or other pieces of fiction from book or comic to screen, people just want that feeling again. You know what I mean? They don't look forward to horrible things. They just want to see.
It's the imagination. It's the imagination of the writer that is brought vividly into your world. And, you breathe heat between the writer, he or she, and you're breathing life into something that was given to you, and you're both on the same. Now there's a connection, because you're connecting to that piece. You're connecting to the writer. You're connecting to what he's or she is putting out and saying. And you're seeing the visual, you're getting it in your head, you're absorbing it, and you get the feeling that you're there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the mark of a fucking good writer, a great writer. That is not something to beat and bash and destroy and criticize. That's been timeless in our society since Plato, for Christ's sake. People have been writing shit to elicit emotion. All right.
Yeah.
That's what it is for.
And that's, that leads right into the fact that when it finally hit the screen, and they killed Glenn on the TV show, people were mad.
Yeah.
People were outraged. They were like, "I cannot believe they showed that. I can't believe it. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah," freaking out over it. And then think of all the other countless people that they've killed on the show in horrible ways, but no one freaked out about it.
Right.
First, it's a show about the zombie apocalypse.
I don't. Nobody's getting that. I mean, okay. First of
And
all,
wait. It's not on HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, or Stars, or any of the other premiums that you would have to pay for, where they don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to send. They don't censor on those channels.
Right.
It's AMC, for fuck's sake. It's AMC. It's like
right.
they rate it TVMA, but for God's sake, it's PG-13.
Right. I mean, it's saying gosh darn and frigate. You know what I mean? It's not like
they ruined an iconic line from Rick Grimes. Instead of you're fucking with the wrong people, they're screwing with the wrong people. Like, get the fuck out of here. Here's my thing too, is that people are so offended by the F word or the C word, and why? Words don't hurt, right?
Because fucking cunt is a very bad term in a lot of people's. And you know what? I'm going to say it because you know what? I spend most of my time going out of my way to try to understand people's feelings and people's thoughts, and trying to be a good person. And 90% of the shit that I see is ridiculous, just ridiculous stuff over things that don't matter, that get blown into things that become a matter. And it gets to be mind-boggling. I can't understand the mindset. Why do you want to waste your time screaming about a fucking show that has nothing to do with reality and that you don't have to watch?
That's what people, that's what they want to do. I've been defending video games for years. People are like, oh, it's so violent. It glorifies violence. It makes our children violent. It makes this, makes that. I know a lot of people. Oh, I met my husband in a GameStop. Okay.
Awesome.
So one of my best friends manages a GameStop. Another friend of mine works. I like, so the stories they tell me about the people that come in. Here's a really, really hilarious true story. Okay. Parent comes in to buy a game and asks my friend, does it have a lot of cuss words? Yeah, it does. It's rated MA. Okay, well that's fine. Does it have a lot of sex or nudity? Not so much nudity, but yeah, there's sex. They can kill hookers, and if you haven't guessed yet, I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto. Does it have violence? Is there gun violence? Is there a lot of violence? And my friend says, well, yeah, I just said that they can kill hookers and
oh my gosh
and stuff like that. Yeah, they can kill hookers, but is there gun violence?
Right, it's okay.
So here's my thing: you're okay with violence against women,
right?
But you're not okay with your kid playing with a gun, because in my opinion, it's probably a little bit more fucking damaging for your 12-year-old to beat a woman in a video game than it is to pull a gun and kill people and run and gun it in fucking PUBG or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I just can't.
So and so that's, I feel like priorities are messed up. People are desensitized to some things and not to others. And when it comes to horror or action, sci-fi or metal, people seem to really, really want to have an opinion about something that they're not even interested in.
I mean, I don't understand where people actually get in their head that this is somehow going to affect them personally.
So back in the early 80s, and I hate to say it, but I don't know if I was alive, when the Judas Priest thing happened. Was that the 70s? Was that the early
No, that was
80s?
the 80s. You're talking about the PMRC.
When
Yeah, Dee Snider.
when they were all like did somebody kill themselves or did somebody kill somebody? I'm not entirely. I'm gonna say,
okay,
hey guys,
no,
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, I live this. This is something that was very big in my world and huge in the metal community back then. And again, I was censored. And one day in the near future, we'll talk about that gig. But right now, suffice to say that there was a child, a young kid, who shot himself in the head, and he had Judas Priest records on while it happened. Most people overlook the fact, and it's probably not even written down anymore. I don't know where you would even be able to find the facts on this, but one of the facts were that this kid actually stayed alive longer because he was listening to Judas Priest. Okay, he didn't kill himself because of Judas Priest. They just happened to be on when he did. Okay, and the reason the kid was on, he was clinging to life. He was trying to cling to life before he shot himself in the head. You know, and people just, holy shit! There's hidden messages, and there was just this barrage of shit that spun out of control, and people in bands were being not only ostracized but brought into court and tried to be charged with these heinous fucking things. They're just musicians. They're not murderers. They're not people that want to go out and kill anybody. They're just musicians. Okay. The other guys from the metal band Mayhem were a little bit crazier. Okay.
Yeah.
Not everybody in the world is good. We know that. We all know that. But not everybody in the world is bad. And when you put everybody into one barrel, what kind of quality of life could you possibly have? If you walk out your front door every day and you see nothing good in this world, what kind of quality of life do you have? Who the hell wants to walk around in the world? That one looks like a murderer. That one's crazy. That one has a gun. He should be locked away. That one, you're slated for mass murderer, pal. I got it. It's all over your eyes. By the way you're driving your car, I can see it. If you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I feel like
Stevie, you watch The Punisher?
I know, right? I'm such a piece of shit.
I can't be on the show with you anymore.
Here's my piece on that is I said it earlier. People want to have an opinion about things that they don't even like, that they're not even into. Yeah. I personally, am I a metalhead? No. Do I enjoy some subgenres of metal? Absolutely. Okay. Do I occasionally want to amp myself up for things and listen to a specific type of music? Yes. And that's my piece on it. I think metal is wonderful for certain things, for me personally, but not all the time. You know what I mean? I'm a very, when it comes to music, everything that I listen to is completely, I wear it on my sleeve. So if I'm listening to a certain thing, you know what kind of mood I'm in.
Right.
And I'm sure there's other people out there that are like that. So
I'm like that.
Yeah. But so by no means am I a metalhead, but I like the genre. Absolutely. I grew up on the genre. You know what I mean?
Here's another vote. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, but that's what I was going to say. I am never going to be like, I have an opinion on this band, or I'm going to judge this type of music, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because I don't fucking, first of all, care enough. Second of all, I am not in that metal community to where I feel like I have a right to say a goddamn thing about anybody who is.
Right.
Well, and that's my piece on it. I feel like I am a part of the horror community. I am a part of the sci-fi community. I'm a part of the video game community. So yes, I will have an opinion and defend those core things that I'm a part of. And then I will also defend metal just because it's such a big part of my life growing up. You know,
Right.
if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you're never going to hear me out of all those things. You're never going to hear me attack or vilify anybody.
No,
For doing what they love, for doing their job.
You go to the store and you buy a dozen eggs, and you come home and that one errant egg is rotten in the package. I would think that 90% of the people that happens to will throw the bad egg out and keep the good eggs, still in the fridge and good and all that. And
you would think so.
You would think. And that's the kind of world I choose to live in. I mean, maybe this is all based on perception. I don't know. Maybe my perception is off. I don't think it is.
Well,
I really don't. I don't think I'm crazy. Right. I don't think that I'm so far askew with things that I see things blown out of proportion or bent or twisted up. I see things pretty much for what they are. And I'm telling you, if you don't like guns, you don't use them, right? It's the same thing. You don't like the show, don't listen. You don't like the music, don't buy it. You don't want to be part of a certain community, don't. But don't trash it for everybody else, man, because other people do. Oh. I love heavy metal music. Come on, it's leave a metal fest on my chest right now.
Dude, right? Wait, so you just touched your shirt. You just said, if you don't like this, I have such a perfect example because I went shopping earlier and there was this lady in the store who was so obnoxious and so annoying. And everything that she picked up in Victoria's Secret, I don't like that. I don't like this. This is ugly. Look at this. This is so disgusting. This is so hideous. And I wanted to turn around and be like, then bitch, don't fucking buy anything.
Go to Walmart. You know what I mean? Get out of the way.
I don't know if you've ever been in Victoria's Secret. So they have like little rooms and it's all it's
shopping for myself, but
are you sure? But so they have like rooms divided up.
Get butt hurt.
I just feel like every room I went into to get away from this bitch, she was like, look at this hideous shirt. Look at these sweatpants. Look at that. And I looked at those sweatpants and I said, I like them. And I fucking bought them. And they are my fancy new sweatpants. They are my fancy new sweatpants. But that is a real fucking life. Yeah. That's a real life example.
Salud. There you go. Cheers.
Salud. So that's a real life example of somebody who just felt like the whole fucking store needed to know what she thought of everything in it. Oh, and that is going to segue us into what you wanted to talk about.
But first,
the internet has given people this notion that everyone should know what they think at all times.
But first, I want to give a personal thank you to all of those whiny, mealy-mouthed, obnoxious, self-centered, egotistical, fucking over-pretentious, bloated-minded, fucking ridiculous fucking people.
God, we're so angry tonight.
To talk about. Thank you for being who you are. Fuck. Oh, God.
Gracias. We are so angry tonight. I don't know what happened. We're so angry.
It just boils over sometimes. I mean, the shit gets so thick. I see this shit all the time. The Cannibal Corpse guy, the guitar player from Cannibal Corpse, the poor dude's house burned down to the fucking ground. People were like, kill him, stone him. It's like, dude.
Okay, so tell me that story.
All right.
Tell everyone who doesn't know, not necessarily me, but tell the people that story.
All right, so he's a guitar player for a band. It's a metal band called Cannibal Corpse. Okay, this guy had a fire in his house, and something happened. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to fucking read the whole story. I know the facts. I know enough to know what happened. Okay, and here's what happened. The dude goes into his house to try to put the fucking fire out. And the cops come and the fire trucks come. And this guy's a little off kilter. He had some mental issues. He's got a mental issue or two. But he was doing the right thing and medicated and never had a problem in life before that. And that was publicly threatening. The guy had guns. Okay. The guy had guns and they locked him up for the guns and so forth. And this guy becomes meth head #1 on the internet. I mean, the guy's not a drug addict. Okay. He's not a meth head. And people are just glorifying this thing and they're running with it and they're character assassinating somebody. Now, this is and this not just in the world, but in the metal community itself. These people that tout themselves as fans of the band and, love their music and love them as people and love everything about them, right? Why don't you get behind the guy and try to help him? Why don't you find out? Right. Why don't you find out first, what really happened before you go spouting your mouth off? Why don't you try to understand that could be you? That could be you. One day that could be you. That could happen to you. And do you want your face plastered all over the fucking internet like that? I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know when people got so cold-hearted. And these are the same people that are complaining about all this stuff that's wrong in the world of guns and the TV shows and the music and everything.
That's a really good, like people attacking somebody before knowing all the facts. Whether or not, I mean, so what was the end result? Tell me, did he have anything to do with the fire?
I don't know the extenuating circumstances. I will, and we'll go back to it if you want. I know enough that, because of the fire, he had something to do with setting the fire.
Mm-hmm.
And they locked him up, and obviously they let him out. And there was a lot of it's not something that you want in a public forum. I get that. Nobody wants to see somebody iconic go through anything like that, especially somebody that's near and dear to your heart, without knowing. And yeah, that does tie into what I wanted to actually talk about tonight. And that was that since the advent of the internet, these huge megastars, like Britney Spears, who I had a crush on. I'm not going to say any more about it. I'm not going to say any more about it. And I'm not pinning her to anything. Britney they're good. What I'm saying is those type of stars to that magnitude aren't so much on the internet or on, Facebook or social media.
No, because I think Britney has kind of gotten her shit together. She went through her like mental health phase and kind of lost it, which we all do. We're fucking human beings. But she's got it together now. Girl looking good. She got her shit together. She's in Vegas, got a Vegas show.
What I'm trying to, I think where I'm trying to go with it is that although they are in the tabloids and their life is publicized and exposed to public, they are not so readily available for public consumption themselves.
Oh no, that's exactly. I knew exactly what you were talking about. Okay. Somebody on the opposite end of that spectrum, for example, would be like any of the Kardashians or the Jenners, who are they eat, sleep, and breathe the public.
Right.
If the internet disappeared tomorrow,
they would be shot. That would be done.
Who the fuck cares? Like they would just disappear.
My point to it would be that people, man, I hate because I play in metal. I've been a drummer for metal bands my whole life, and I don't want to keep harping on metal, but I mean it's an instance where money comes into play for the people that play metal. Some of them, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody, some metal musicians are extremely successful at what they do, and monetarily incredibly gainful at what they do. You know, they make a lot of money doing it, and that's killer. That's amazing. People on a few levels below that. A lot of the bands are readily accessible, and with the advent of the internet, I know for myself, I'm no star by any means or size, but I know that this is a vehicle here, and you can talk to people, and that's important to. I know as a musician, you want people to listen to your stuff. You want people to know who you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. You would just do it in a closet. You would never publicize or put an album out or sell anything or want to be in a public eye. It's about having people enjoy what you do. And that is like the sole reason. So most musicians are very vocal to a point, you know, to some are very, very reserved. I'm not saying everybody, okay? I'm not generalizing. I'm saying a lot of people that I know personally as musicians are very vocal socially on social media, which puts you in a direct line with people, okay?
Absolutely.
A lot of people, in my estimation, abuse that privilege to speak to people as if they were idiots or morons or, you know, people that don't know what they're talking about. And a lot of these people are icons that have been around in the industry for many, many, many years and producing the music that we wouldn't have today if they weren't around. And I see this like rampantly happening, like a lot. I see a lot of this, and it's distressing because these are people that I looked up to when I was coming up in metal, and I'm 50 something years old, okay? And if I'm looking up to these people that was that long ago and they're still here, and you're only say, I don't know, I'm not attacking an age group, please God, you know, don't, I'm just saying, hypothetically, you're 18. You have lived a third of the life of the person who you were attacking, and the other 2/3 of that life were spent playing the music that you listen to that wouldn't be here if those people weren't there. And nobody gives us a second thought today. Nobody thinks about this at all. It's just so commonplace. The separation between rock star and crowd, I guess.
Well, that kind of goes back to that annoying lady in the store today. Everybody has a voice on the internet because of things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever other social media platforms there are that I don't use. Everybody has a voice. People that, whether you're 18, 28, 38, or 48, people that don't have a voice in real life have one online, and they want that voice to be heard. What's even better is that they don't have to have a face if they don't want to. You don't know where they live. You don't know where they're at. I mean, people, yeah, there are people out there that can, you know, find out and dox them if they really wanted to. But the fact of the matter is that the internet is their safety blanket, and social media is their safety blanket. They can say what they want, post what they want, degrade and berate who they want to no avail with no repercussions. And that's a really sad thing that is becoming more and more prevalent. And the fact that any asshole can make a fucking Twitter and go off on somebody and make them want to die.
Right.
That's what's just so sad, or make somebody feel like they're, you know, whether you're a budding author or a film star, Yeah, and I said it earlier, they're just words, but when they're words in a public forum that are on display for all to see, they can be quite damaging. So I guess I retract my
Agreed.
statement from earlier that they're just words. This is a medium, like I said, in which any asshole can say whatever they want,
Right.
regardless of how damaging. And that's quite detrimental to commoners like myself, or
Noted.
or even to stars. I mean, think of all the people with fame and money that kill themselves. You don't know why they did. It could have been something that you fucking put on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Never know. I mean, some people aren't able to get their head around things like that. Sometimes it's like a hazing thing, and people are being ostracized for shit. Some people can handle it, some people can't. Look, I mean, what it comes down to in my eyes is a matter of respect for people, other people, period, not just musicians. And I don't want to give an impression like I'm saying that people that do things um, for longevity, like a long time in music, and again, because I'm into the type of music that I am, metal. I'm not trying to glorify people and put them on pedestals or make them above anyone. And here's the thing: 90.9% of the people that I've met that have that kind of status have all been so morally grounded and normal and nice and apt to just to give you shit off the back and talk to you. Um, I think what it comes down to in my eyes is a mutual. It should be a respect. It should be a respect thing. I was maybe raised differently. Maybe I have a different opinion on it, but I think that you should respect that. I do. If you love a certain type of music and you're in front of people that like gave it to you, yeah, I respect that. That's just the way I am. I mean, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I'm not here to shoot you down or make you look like an idiot or try to, get one up on you and make you lesser than, and that's what I see. Guys trying to climb some kind of invisible ladder in some social status, off of a star and, get their up those rungs, to higher spots because they deface somebody verbally on their fucking Twitter account. And it's like, I just don't know, A, what you gain out of that, and B, why you would even consider yourself a fan of this stuff, if you're berating people. It just doesn't make sense. But that's my take on it.
Well, and that's like a thing, though. I feel like, honestly, all over forums on the internet, Reddit being a big one, is that people, okay, there's always the us versus them. That's always a thing, okay? So us versus them being we, the people that dislike something,
Right.
versus the people that enjoy something. I don't know what it is. I'm not a psychologist. Anybody that is, please feel free to let me know. But anyway, people just love to have common ground in disliking something.
Yeah.
They really do. They really love to have common ground in fucking hating something.
Yeah.
I find that I make friends more easily with the people that don't like the same things that I don't like. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Right.
And I don't know what that type of person that makes me. Oh, I guess I'm the worst. But like
You're terrible.
about it, like
you're horrible,
like
obviously,
obviously, like my inner circle are all amazing people. I love you. But like thinking about like the things that I dislike and the people that I dislike, we kind of all have that in common, and it's really hilarious. And not to where I would ever go online and like harass or, you know, try to cyberbully anybody, but, you know, like, I don't know. What is that? What is the common ground of hatred that everybody finds that they just love to? I guess misery loves company. It's the oldest, one of the oldest phrases in the book. Misery loves company. I guess that's what it is. We all love to be fucking haters.
Do you want to know what I think?
Yes, tell me.
Because I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me anyways. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to tell you anyway. That's right. Oh, I'm on a roll tonight. I'm ranting. I'm ranting away. I'm ranting. I'm caffeinated and ranting. All
We
right.
should just call this angry
Angry
metal
horror.
cast.
Angry metal and horror. We're angry.
Oh
And we're
God.
over caffeinated and buzzed, but we're oh, we almost.
Hey, I'm not buzzed yet. I'm still on.
I am
glass of wine number 1.
I'm
So
buzzing my ass off of this.
in
stuff.
my
I'm like, lit up like a Christmas tree. I got a double shot of espresso in here.
here we go. We've
That's
got
what
about 10 minutes or so left.
Did we get anybody in the chat? Did anybody speak? Did we got 3 people watching? You people watching?
Yes, Irish Metal Maniac Adrian is back. And
Hello,
I said,
Adrian.
hey, welcome back to the show. But I do want to
Raven in here tonight, buddy.
to Wonder Woman.
I was going to tell you what my thought was, and I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
But this is my Wonder Woman wine glass that my friend bought me because Wonder Woman is my alter ego. No, I'm just kidding. But I wish. But anyway, before we wrap things up, you know, just to kind of like, because tonight's topic I feel like has been a lot of like about the same stuff, but it can apply to any aspect. However, I don't know. To me, I feel like there's a lot more hatred, not necessarily hatred, but there's a lot more judgment passed upon anybody associated with horror and metal.
Such a loaded topic. I mean, we could spend hours on this, you know what I mean?
But do you feel, because like you're definitely a part of the metal community, especially in New Jersey and New York and just the tri-state area. Do you really feel that there is more judgment passed on people that are part of the metal community over other genres of music?
Yeah. Oh yeah, there always has been. I mean, that just comes with the, you know, comes with the territory pretty much. I mean, I think we're all pretty battle hardened with that, you know. Nobody really like I don't even see it in my head anymore because it's just so, you know, oh, you're a metalhead. Yeah, and what you usually get is people say, oh yeah, I listened to that when I was like 14, and then I got older, I grew up. And then what, your ears fell off your head, you just stopped liking something because
like,
because you're gonna be called a child if. Listen, I get up.
That's so frustrating. That just made me mad.
Here we go. Yeah, because this is loaded. I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I take care of my little kitties at 4 a.m. every day. I, like everybody else, get dressed. I walk out of the house by 5 a.m. I'm on a roof, 8 hours. In the cold, in the heat, in the snow, sometimes in the rain, sometimes in, you know, the hot, the extremes. I am absolutely 100% not playing around while I'm at work. I am very serious. I take it very serious. It's my job. I'm very responsible. I kiss my wife and I walk out of the house and I go do that every day, just like everybody else does. Mm-hmm. The thing is that when people think that you listen to metal, a lot of people think people that listen to metal still live with their parents and live in a basement and, you know, never graduate.
Same thing goes for video games.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's so stereotypical and ridiculous that I digress. I digress.
That's a really beautiful thing to bring up though. And I say beautiful because it really is beautiful. People want the vox populi, okay? Like the voice of the people want stereotypes to disappear. So stop stereotyping
Yeah.
metal or video games or horror nerds or fucking nerds in general or geeks or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, okay, look at me. I'm not hot shit. I like to pretend that I am, but I ain't. But you know, like for example, like you know, like I'm not like Miss Supermodel fucking whoever's insert famous woman's name. You know what I mean? Like
We love you, Stevie.
oh, I love myself too. Thanks.
Good. Okay.
But that's the fact of the matter is, if you were to look at me, you would not think that and I said this on last week's show, you would not look at me and think that I listen to every genre of music except for country. And you would not think that I sit around on my ass when I want to be lazy and play 7 hours of fucking video games. You know what I mean? Like you would not think that I could probably school you on most trivia when it comes to sci-fi and horror. You know, and that's the thing is like let go of those stereotypes.
Yeah.
You want so badly for everybody to let go of those stereotypes, supposed to stop stereotyping.
Exactly. And that's because why I was earlier. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, and that kind of, and this we can table for next week, and we can lead into next week's episode. Image doesn't define you. And that was kind of our original topic tonight. We were going to talk about imagery in metal, imagery in music, rock, subgenres of metal, and how it used to be if you looked a certain way, you sounded a certain way. And that's not the case anymore. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. No,
you raised that point last week, and you showed me a few images of a band. And at face value, you asked me to assess what type of music this band played, and I did. And it was absolutely nowhere near what they played, and you wouldn't know it. Excuse me, I belched. Sorry. I don't want to.
You dirty ass metalhead, you disgusting pig.
I'm ostracized. Oh my God. She drank the Kool-Aid, people.
You're so gross. Oh my God.
Help me. So I had no idea that the band would sound like the way they did by looking at them. And Ghost, we were talking about Ghost.
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest. I saw him come out and I'm like, you have to remember something. I was around when King Diamond came out, okay? And I remember going, fuck, this guy's like serious, man. He's like, he's going, dude. This dude has got some shit going on here that nobody's doing ever again. And here it is. And boom, he comes back out with albums and all this shit over the years. And it sounds like it looks, if that makes sense to you. I know by looking at that.
And that's because we've been trained to associate certain looks with music.
Imagery, yes, imagery. Yes. That's correct. So Ghost happens.
Oh yeah.
And I expect King Diamond.
And you get
I'll be honest. I'm being honest. I'm dumping it on the table. Open to ridicule. Ridicule me if you want to. I expected fucking King Diamond.
And you get like Blue Oyster Cult.
Yeah, you know, it was like Bachman Turner Overdrive meets, you know, fucking Barry Manilow, kind of weird. Just this, no offense, they're great. You guys are awesome. Because, you know, I'm gonna be guilty of doing what I said before, ostracizing a band online. Oh God, you know, you can't win. So I don't know, Stevie. I don't know. I don't know how to break that. The symmetry between the two is probably going to be something that'll never stop happening. It's probably going to continue to happen.
Adrian in the chat brings up a good point. He says a lot of folks in his hometown, a very small population, less than 1,000, they always thought him and his friends were unapproachable because of the way that they dressed. And it was scary or / what was perceived to be satanic imagery that attracted him to metal. But does that make somebody like him unapproachable or a bad person?
No, No, listen,
Exactly. No, but that's the thing though. He says, that's what's attracted to him to it. So does that make him a bad person? Just like I said earlier, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to see Glenn die on The Walking Dead.
No.
Sorry, Stephen Yun, who the actor who played Glenn. I couldn't wait to see him get his fucking brains bashed in because I wanted that feeling from the comics on that airplane that I talked about earlier.
Here it is in a nutshell.
Does that make me a bad person?
No. And that's what I was just about to say. Do you know what makes somebody a bad person?
Doing bad things.
They're a bad person. That's it. Yeah, thank you. It's really that simple. And we're taking this and making it into society. I'm talking about, in my eyes, is taking this and making it into this tapestry that's woven daily, based on fears, insecurities, and desensitivity. And it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. The world has moved into a position, in my eyes, that is irrevocable, irreversible. I don't think we're ever going to fix that part of it, but to acknowledge it and to try to work on it and to try to quell it and to try to maybe reverse it, even if you can't ever reverse it, to try to be better people to each other, to be more understanding and more open and honest about things without having to like beat each other over the head with a fucking stick because of your differences, without trying to get personal gain, climbing up someone's back to make yourself look better. The world was so much better place without social media, in my eyes. And I'm probably more guilty of being on social media daily than anybody else on the God's green earth.
But you use it for a different medium. You're not using it to attack or provoke or to be a hater. You're using it for...
I quell my narcissism. I'm kidding.
Like I said earlier, I like to think that I'm badass, but no. The bottom line is that it's an abuse of a... Oh gosh, what's the best way to put this? Social media has become an abuse of a substance that isn't actually there. If that makes sense.
No, it's absolutely yes, it absolutely makes sense. It's a fabricated. That's what I meant. It's a tapestry that's fabricated by social media. It's for social media, by social media, and it's advocated with social media, and it's crazy. It's just this whole shitstorm that's never going to stop.
And it's bleeding into real life. Like I said, you've got this lady. I don't like this. I don't like that. Blah blah blah. This store sucks. Leave.
Would she?
Get out.
Let me ask you this real quick. Would this woman? Would you? Somebody that would do that so vocally in a store. Would you categorize this person to be the same type of person that would hold their phone up and videotape somebody get beaten right in front of them and not use the phone to call the cops and help the person, but to videotape it and stick it on YouTube for self-glorification? Would that woman, that type of person, be a candidate for that?
Well, here's my response, Joseph. The lady probably wouldn't be able to figure out how to put it on YouTube. So she would instead go on fucking Facebook and she would be like, oh my God, I was at Pier Park earlier and I cannot believe what I saw. ... insert horrible scenario. But no, that's exactly what it was, because she's the typical, I don't know how to do this, somebody do it for me, bitch. But she's gonna go online and be like, ordered a mocha latte today and got like soy milk instead of almond. So that's the type of thing, is that you want to put your business out there. You want every aspect of your life broadcast, but when shit goes down, you're not doing anything to help others. And that's the thing, is that, like, ties back into everything that we talked about tonight, is that you can say this, you can say that, you have an opinion about all of these things, but what are you really bringing to the table? At the end of the day, are you saving anybody from all of
No.
this nonsense you want to talk about? Are you actually doing anything? Or are you really making a change, or do you just want to fucking complain about it?
Right. That's the thing. I mean, and I guess in my eyes, the end line, the brass tacks of it, the crux of the matter is: are you a good person? Are you doing right by other people? Are you stand up enough to help somebody that would be getting beat down instead of standing there with a video camera? Are you above trashing somebody when you don't know all the facts?
Most people are not.
You know?
And so that's the thing. So I will say in closing that if you don't like it, don't watch it, listen to it, read it, or consume it in any
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Don't consume it. If the world, and this is my oh so humble opinion, if the world were to rid itself of horror fiction, science fiction, uh, heavy metal, or anything that like offended people,
Uh-oh.
we would basically have a 24/7 rom-com that made no sense. That would be life. And I'm gone. I'm not here. Look, oh my God, we lost everybody. I've been talking and my internet sucks. I hope somebody can hear me, but they can't.
Ah,
I'm back. I was trying to text you. I was so sad. I was like talking to myself and I'm like, oh my God.
see, I didn't freak out and push buttons. Now we had 4 viewers there for a second. That was weird.
I
There
know.
were
I
4
was so
viewers.
sad.
Okay, we are still live, people. Hello again. And are we ready for another hour?
No, fuck no.
No,
I have things to do.
Listen, tonight we aired our shit, and we're Stevie and I'll speak for both of us. We're real people. We're not closet, dummies. We're not cutouts. We're not like, mannequins. We're real people. We got thoughts and ambitions and feelings and all. We got feelings. Oh God. Right.
Absolutely.
No,
So
but we do.
wait. Let me just finish my piece, please. So I don't know if I got a chance to before like my internet like did its thing where it wanted me to die.
I broke into a song.
If we got rid of all the cool shit like horror and metal and sci-fi, video games, and all the things that everybody wants to bitch about, the whole world would be one big awkward rom-com. And I don't know what to tell you, but that sounds like a shit world to live in. So just everybody lighten up.
Right.
Lighten up
Exactly.
and have a good time.
Chill the fuck out, people.
Yeah, I feel like as long as we're treating each other like decent human beings, it doesn't matter if I like to watch Glenn get his head beat in or John Bernthal play the Punisher and fucking go, like absolutely insane on somebody. None of this stuff matters. As long as you're like a decent dude or chick in real life. But that's my piece.
Well, I agree. It's not that I don't agree. I totally agree with that. We went off. Excuse me. Oh my God, there's something wrong with my throat. I don't know what the hell's going on here.
Joe?
Yep, I got a frog. Somebody's telling me to shut up. Probably hex me, put a thing on me. Hey, you know what? I'd tell me to shut up too. I talk a lot, right? Yeah, but you know what? Okay. I'll tell you what. When I talk, I try very hard not to talk about other fucking people. I try not to badmouth other people. I try to keep people up, not down. I believe that we could all, can we all just get along? No, I really think, the world would be a lot nicer if everybody just chilled the fuck out a little bit. That's all. So come have a coffee with me and chill. It's all good, right?
Do it.
Steve will chill with you.
I've had coffee with him. It's a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. We did have a lot. We're going to be doing that again eventually. Maybe we'll do a show from Rome if everybody's good.
I hope so. Joe and I are gonna be in Italy in August, and if time allows for it, and if all 39 of the drunken people we'll be with will let us like have like an hour to just chill and fucking like live cast from Rome, that would be so chill. I would love it. Maybe we'll find some like Italian horror and metalheads that we could interview or something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, while we're there, we can get the best of both worlds, you know, and again, I don't want to say I'm sorry that tonight was dedicated to a rant, because I'm not sorry at all, because, you know, like I said, we are real people. We're in the world just like everybody else is. And you know what? It really is. It can be a really fucking scary place, right? I mean, people are just losing their shit out here left and right. So my message to the world is chill the fuck out. That's all. You know,
that's a good message. I like it.
Just chill the fuck out, relax yourselves a little bit, and you know, come hang out with me and Stevie and watch this stuff with us and talk to us with us. That's why we're here. We want people to talk to us. We want you guys to chime up in the fucking chat room. For God's sakes, please use your fingers, type in there. Adrian, you are awesome. You're becoming a repeat offender.
Adrian sounds like my type of guy. Chill out and smoke a blunt. Like what? That's awesome.
He's just chill. He's a very, very awesome dude. And I'll tell you the truth, and this is a guy that was ostracized, right, by society to conform, because he looked different, and I looked different when I was young. My hair was down to my ass when I was 12. I had a pair of Fry boots, ripped up jeans, and a pot leaf T-shirt. Okay, that's what I walked around with when I was 12. People, 12. Look, it doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you different. What makes you a bad person is burning shit down and killing people, like eating people. Yeah, when you eat people, you're a bad person.
When you try to kill your wife, you're a bad person.
Right? Yeah.
Tim Lambesis looking at you, but that was mean, because he's like rehabilitated and stuff and touring again. So, and I actually want to go see them in Pensacola.
When you make a movie about people eating other people, that makes you creative, not a bad person. Okay.
Exactly.
We got to be able to differentiate between the two. Real life, eating people, bad. In a movie, good. Okay, so hopefully we can all gestate that and get around that and get that into your heads and soak that up. Until next time, God knows I may start drinking again. Who the fuck knows?
Don't you dare. Just drink coffee. Guys, thank you so much for those of you who tuned in live. And for anybody who tunes in after the fact, thank you so much for listening to us and putting up with us for an hour and 13 minutes.
Yes, madam.
Don't forget, check out horrormetalsounds.com, your one-stop shop for all things horror and metal. And subscribe to our channel. Tune in every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central.
Bring us the Shrebbity!
Oh, the Knights Who Say Meat. I know a Monty Python reference when I hear one. I'm not that silly.
I can't get. Are you sure you weren't born in the 70s, early 70s?
I wasn't. Maybe I have an old soul. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for putting up with us. We're just so angry tonight. I don't know what happened. It was a very dramatic day, I suppose. But thank you so much. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them for us. We want to read them.
Yeah, even if they're totally defacing and nasty, we'll read
whatever.
those.
Tell me I'm a fucking asshole. Tell me I'm a piece of shit. I love it, because I have so much to say back. I would love for you to tell me these things. Challenge me. I like a good challenge. But anyway, tune in next Monday. We're probably going to pick up where we left off and talk about imagery and in music and horror, and how things used to be and how they are not so much anymore, and why that is not such a bad thing.
True. Yes, that, and we'll probably talk about coffee and chocolate, because I like those things a lot.
Hey, fun fact, FF. For anybody that doesn't know, I am allergic to the cocoa bean, so I do not.
I didn't even know that. Are you really?
What? Are you fucking serious?
I'm dead serious. I had no idea.
Dude, yeah. Like, so anything derived from the cocoa bean, I cannot ingest it or put it on my skin or in my hair.
You can't have chocolate at all?
Nah, dude. I'm good.
Oh, no, that's not right. That's just inhuman.
No, I'm not like upset about it.
I will eat chocolate in your honor.
You will. You will. Hey, anybody out there? Eat chocolate in my honor.
For Stevie, people. Take it for Stevie. Chocolate.
In my honor. Okay, listen. Chocolate. I got plans. I gotta go. Guys, again, thank you so much. Tune in next Monday, same place, same time. Tell your friends. We love you. Keep it creepy. Yeah, what she said, and we'll see you motherfuckers next week. Eat lead. Motherfuckers. Bye. Be good next week, people. Have a nice evening.